I didn't talk to my parents much. I tried to be cool in front of people that I didn't even care about. And I honestly just didn't know what to do or where to go, so I turned to negative repetitive behaviors. I felt hopeless and I thought my long-term future didn't matter. But I also remember not wanting to disappoint anyone, so I kept going, dragging myself forward in life. Almost a decade later from 20, at 29, luckily things have gotten better. I've practiced exposing myself to calculated risk, I've found a better balance between happiness and money, and I've replaced most of the habits that destroy my ability to feel good in life. In those 9 years, I feel like I've kind of fallen behind most of my peers, and I hope that these stories help you avoid the same mistakes that I did. In case you're wondering, these are my 5 regrets and lessons from my early 20s. Number 1, I wish I lived in discomfort. Being raised by immigrant parents, there are 3 things that you're taught to focus on in life. Become a doctor, have children, and everything should be practical. Basically, never take a risk. So far, I've failed at all 3. I studied computer science in school, I got a job in software engineering because I thought, hey, it'll make my parents happy because I'll have this stable, consistent income. But I realized I wasn't in love with the work. I felt like it wasn't allowing me to achieve my full potential. And then I discovered Tim Ferriss's fear setting. Fear setting essentially is where you define your worst case scenario, your best case scenario, and then how can you mitigate that worst case scenario. I then used fear setting to quit my 6-figure software engineering job and went on to teach yoga at near minimum wage. But now it wasn't quite as simple as I'm making it sound. I later went back to the corporate life as a product manager, and then I quit again. But the main takeaway is that you shouldn't let fear get in the way of doing and trying the things that you want in life. The regret of not going after the things that are meaningful and real is huge. I've learned that when I push my boundaries of my own limited thinking, I learned that there's like a larger world of possibility, right? Rather than just being stuck in this box and feeling like I can only do so much, I'm able to step into this world of unlimited potential and possibilities. So ask that girl out, quit your job, start that business that you really want, find ways to take that risk and seek discomfort. Number 2, I wish I saved and invested more money. In my early 20s, I bought a lot of shit to try and look cooler, like clothes and objects to fit in, Ralph Lauren, the newest iPhone, and some of these were pathetic attempts to be a high-value man, but I quickly realized these ways of trying to flex just aren't real. It doesn't create this authentic, deep relationships with people. And that money is important, right? You need to save that money for other things to help achieve your goals in life. So for example, as a pilot, a major component of like taking the airplane off is creating a flight plan and measuring the type of plane you have, the weight of the plane, so that the runway is long enough. And the same thing happens in life. When you're trying to achieve a certain type of goal, your runway is money. You need to make sure that you have enough money to get you to the goal that you're trying to achieve. And for me, that's knowing my burn rate, budgeting properly, managing my finances in a way so that way I know how much money's coming in, how much money's going out. And if I want to chase after a big ambition, a big goal, I know that I have that money and that runway to get me to that destination. Number 3, I wish I was ruthless with choosing my environment. When I was making money right out of college, I lived with my college buddies, and I don't know what kind of college you went to, but my college was very social, lots of drinking and hanging out, going to bars and clubs, and these tendencies continued after college when we all lived together. So when it was like a Thursday afternoon, they'd be like, hey, I know it's Thursday night, you want to go out with us? And I was like, but we have work tomorrow. And they're like, let's just have one drink. And then it became to 5, and then I was hungover Friday, and then I was hungover Saturday, and then I was hungover Sunday. And I just wanted to exercise, I wanted to work on a side project, and these things never happened because my housemates never did them. And this is why I keep telling myself the 5 chimps theory, which basically says that the people you surround yourself with, you become more like. Right? So pick your friends wisely because they can really shape your future, they can shape your behavior and who you are as a person. I also remember reading Atomic Habits by James Clear, and this little story stood out to me. Some of the soldiers in Vietnam became heroin addicts, and then when they came back to the United States, essentially they found 95% of these soldiers eliminated their addiction overnight, and it was purely because of their change in environment. This story reinforced how important and critical your environment can be. So if people are dragging you down, stop hanging out with them. I always tell myself this: if you want to change your life, change your friends, change your environment. Number 4, I wish I was more consistent and boring. Now knowing how critical my environment was to feeding my bad habit behavior, I had a choice. I could either wake up and do a little morning routine and get ready for work, or I could spend my time in bed scrolling through TikTok. At some point, I decided to exchange TikTok for just going to the gym for some easy, simple, repetitive morning workouts. I purely measured success by my presence in the gym. And then this just became like an automatic behavior. It didn't require any willpower, motivation, thought. I would just show up and do. And then months later, I woke up, I looked in the mirror, oh, I had a six-pack. And this taught me that you need to leverage the compounding effects of habits, because having a consistent, boring habit can turn you into an overnight success. One of my favorite equations is consistency over time equals drastic change. One of my favorite analogies to go with that is that a river does not cut through a rock because of its power. It cuts through because of its persistence. And I realized if you're doing a lot of what you should be doing, it'll seem like your life is boring, especially when you compare it to other people in your life. You look on Instagram and they're traveling, they're going to social events. And I'm not saying those things are bad, but the best progress that you'll see in your life is when you're living a boring, disciplined life, doing the same things over and over again. So if your life feels boring, it's probably not a bad thing. It probably means you're on the right track. And I wish I realized that sooner. Number 5. I wish I drank less alcohol and slept more. The whole concept of I'll sleep when I'm dead, grind 7 p.m. to 2 a.m., wake up at 4 a.m., I'll go to bed at midnight. Like, these mindsets are actually destructive to our productivity and our own health. I remember I ingrained it so far in my head that I had 4 different alarms going off: my watch, my bed, the lights, just to be able to wake up early and be productive and do more and focus more. But little did I know, that lack of sleep was slowly adding up and it was destroying my well-being and happiness. And then I realized I was not able to gain muscle or lose fat from my workouts. My sugar cravings increased, and then I had this inability to focus at work. Not only that, the sugar cravings created larger spikes and crashes in my energy, and then my focus got even worse, and then I got even more unmotivated, and this became a vicious cycle of just awful destruction of my health, my body, and my mind. Now I try to include in my daily routine, most days, most of the time, not all the time, but a dose of sunlight, some whole foods, and good sleep. Right? This is kind of like my insurance plan to make sure that I'll stay healthy and avoid getting ill. Because I know every time that I'm sick or hungover, my focus is only on one thing. I saw this really interesting tweet that said something like this: a healthy man wants 1,000 things, a sick man only wants one. And that's to be healthy again. If you have big ambitions in life, you want to chase your goals and seek discomfort, it's not possible without good health. So spend a little bit of time extra each day taking care of your long-term health. And maybe you feel the same thing right now. I know my 30s are right around the corner, and I'm not wasting a single second. I've prepped, I've planned, I've set goals, I know where I want to be, and I'm not going to make the same mistakes that I did last decade. So here's to 2032. Know that we're all going to make mistakes, and these are just some of my stories and experiences that hopefully will help you get ahead. Life is just about experiencing, it's about going after the things that you want, setting your goals, feeling uncomfortable, and living life to the fullest. For me, I love learning and experimenting with how I can live a healthier life. I've learned that what we eat has an immense impact on achieving our goals. So make sure to watch my video on how I quit sugar for 30 days, linked below. So get after it. Health is wealth. Peace.